Optimus Productions, and today we're gonna be talking about one of the most iconic guitar amplification brands of the industry, Orange Amplification. This isn't gonna be a review of my Orange Dark Terror, the amplifier that I play in the intro of this video. We're gonna be talking about the history of this brand, how the company born, how it almost disappeared, and how did reborn again. Orange was founded in 1968 by Cliff Cooper in London. But it didn't start as an amp company, it started as a music shop and recording studio in London, called the Orange Shop. Difficulties in obtaining new stock equipment mean that the new Orange Shop at first had to deal only with second-hand equipment. Many musicians around at the time preferred older used and beaten up guitars as they were considered up better quality and have more character than the new ones available. The Orange Shop was the first to cater for the used market. Now, get guitars into the store was a little bit easier compared to the real problem. Cliff needed amps to rent out, but couldn't afford the big American brand like Fender or the new British brand Marshall. Even getting box amplifiers to the store was a little bit hard. This was when he decided to build his own amplifiers, and that's when everything changed. The early Orange amps were built with engineer Matamp, the owner and founder of the Radiocraft company. He also used to design his own amplifiers with the name of Matamp. There is a common misconception that the earliest Orange amplifiers were co-branded efforts between Orange and Matamp as equal partners, but that's not exactly true. Cooper hired Matthias to design the amplifier and build them with the Radiocraft company. Following Cliff Cooper's specifications, Radiocraft originally made hi-fi style guitar amps which worked well for bass, but sounded too clean and flat for electric guitar. Cooper wanted something different, with more sustain, more character, more attitude. Matt agreed and started designing the new amplifier. When the final design was presented, Matt also suggested to add a small logo of Matamp next to the Orange logo, essentially becoming the first model with that name. The amplifier was a success, and the demand grew fast. Too fast that Radiocraft couldn't keep up with orders, and it became clear that bigger facilities were needed. Matthias couldn't finance expansion alone, so Cooper Matthias Limited was founded in 1969. And things went well for the first years. Business was booming, but Cooper noticed that the factory was moving too slow. Back orders were piling up, output was low, and the operation wasn't even covering its costs. So a difficult decision was made. Cooper ended his relationship with Matamp. Cooper moved the production to a rundown shop in Covent Garden, London. The new engineer in charge of the Orange amplifiers was John James. He was the one that designed what will become one of the most iconic amps ever made, the graphic valve amplifier, better known as the Pics Only. Why was it called like that? Because instead of words, the front panel used little pictures, icons for bass, treble, volume, so musicians from any country could understand it. This amp defined the Orange sound: thick, bold, mid-heavy, aggressive but smooth. It was a complete success, and the demand kept growing, and once again Orange amplifiers needed a bigger facility. By 1973, production was moved. They relocated, and for the first time, Orange had a proper production line. They were producing around one amplifier per worker per day, lining up to 20 to 30 units at the time, and completing them sequentially. This period also made Orange expansions in the United States. Around the time the Pics Only evolved into the Graphics 120, the company kept releasing more amplifiers like the custom River Twin Mark II that was a direct competition to the Fender Twin River. Entering in the solid-state era of amplifiers and also releasing the first ever digital controlled amplifier, the OMEC Digital. But suddenly, in 1978, the original Orange shop closed. Then in 1979, disaster hit. Two major overseas distributors went into liquidation in a short period of time. Production in the factory stopped. Orange, one of the most recognizable amp brands of the 70s, had effectively collapsed. During the 1980s, Orange Amplifiers production was extremely limited. Cliff Cooper continued building amplifiers in small quantities, primarily to special orders. In 1992, the company was sold to an amplifier enthusiast, Jeff Lewis. In 1983, Gibson licensed the Orange name and began production of Orange amplifiers manufactured in the Huddersfield, England, where the Matamp amplifiers were manufactured. These reissues and models by Gibson were not commercially successful, and in February of 1997, Gibson returned the Orange name to Cliff Cooper. Around this time, Noel Gallagher from the band Oasis, who had used Orange amps extensively on early Oasis recordings, was consulted for feedback. Gallagher wanted more crunch for his overdrive model, leading to circuit modifications that became the foundation for the new amplifiers released in 1998. Orange launched the AD series, including the AD30, the AD30R, and the AD15 combo, with these models being a complete success. This was the comeback of Orange Amplification, and this comeback was serious. The new millennium marked a massive expansion for Orange. Orange became huge in stoner rock, sludge, doom, and modern metal bands. This wasn't just an amp company anymore. Orange began diversifying in ways nobody expected, from clothing and accessories to even branded personal computers. But the biggest developments were still happening in amplification. During the 2000s, Orange reestablished itself as a major force in tube amps with models like the Rockerverb series, which quickly became a modern classic in rock and metal. Releasing new models of amplifiers more focused for this kind of music, like the Dual Dark and the Dark Terror that I was using in the intro, also making signature amplifiers for bands like Slipknot and Mastodon. The Tiny Terror became a huge success and helped spark the entirely mini head trend in the industry. At the same time, Orange expanded heavily into bass amplification, the Crush Solid State series. They managed to keep their vintage identity, the bright orange Tolex, the iconic style control panels, while adapting to modern guitar player needs. So that was the story of Orange Amplification, from a small guitar shop in London all the way to become one of the most iconic guitar amplifier brands. Let me know what you guys think about Orange in the comments. Please share, like, and subscribe. Take care and bye.